me being over on Rumble, I did find a TP, TP USA, right?
Yes, yeah, I know who they are.
Religious organization. Well, you know what they are.
Yeah, I do know what they are.
All right. So TP USA has a podcast. This is the organization that Charlie Kirk founded. They do a podcast. They still call it the Charlie Kirk Charlie Kirk podcast, which I think is kind of strange. I mean, at what point do you, after you die, would you just maybe call it the Turning Point podcast or something like that? But anyway, what I found on there was an interview that they did with this guy who I've never heard of before, but he's got like this radical opinion about weed that seems to, he's all fired up about it. So I figured, control room, I figured what we'll do is, and Jeff, feel free to jump in on the mic for this one. Do you want to play it on this screen behind me?
Yeah, I can do that. Give me 1 second.
Jeff?
Yeah, can you hear me?
There we go. So we'll play it on the screen behind me. This is the Charlie Kirk Show, and they're going to, I guess, introduce this guy here on the right. And what we're going to do is we're going to listen to it together, and we're going to make some comments on it. Guys, what we'll do is I'll make sure I'm looking at chats. Make sure you guys tell us what you are thinking. Specifically, tell us what you guys are thinking. We'll tell.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Just want to make sure my mic was live.
Yep, it is. So why don't we start playing it, and we'll just kind of stop it along the way. Anybody can yell stop, and if they've got something to say, just.
Well, I kind of cut it up into 4 little sections.
Okay.
So
Great.
I'll just kind of play it and then stop it where I had it.
You got it. You got it.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
1 second.
Significant part of our adult population, which is using marijuana, high potency marijuana, on a daily basis. This is lobotomizing a significant portion of our population. It lowers IQ, it lowers testosterone, it's dangerous for pregnant women. I mean, you go down so many of the lists. The number one pushback that I get, and I will say, gentlemen, you may find this shocking. I have spoken about the most controversial issues of the time: ICE, BLM, and everything. I have received hate mail many times. Daylight savings, property tax, as you said. Nothing inspires more hatred for me personally than talking about the ills of marijuana. And in particular, the one I hear the most is about so-called medical benefits. I need to remind everyone that a massive study just came out not even 3 months ago, written up by the New York Times, by JAMA, major medical journals, that shows that all of the claims, almost all of the claims about medical marijuana are completely fake. And I think that what's something very insidious and dangerous about this drug is the worship of it by many of its users. People who are alcoholics do not try to justify.
We'll back up and deal with the alcoholic comment in a second. But he just said that people, like, they're talking about worship. Is there a difference between a lifestyle and worship? Is there a difference? Worship?
Worship is different than a lifestyle.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And then he says that there's a study that was written about by the New York Times about all the medical benefits. Basically, he goes, they're just non-existent.
He's just throwing things out there.
His name is Cigar and Jetty. And he says that people hate him because of his radical stance on weed. What do you think?
Well, he's a little dated.
I mean, listen, I guess if you're trying to get attention, right, then taking a position like this will get you talked about. We're talking about him.
He has a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah. Back it up just a hair if you can, and then let him spew off about how alcoholics don't glamorize their drinking. Go ahead.
Times by JAMA, major medical journals, that shows that all of the claims, almost all of the claims about medical marijuana are completely fake. And I think that what's something very insidious and dangerous about this drug is the worship of it by many of its users. People who are alcoholics do not try to justify their alcohol use by saying that it's curing them. It's a shameful activity. And frankly, I think it should be. Like, if you need to drink every single day to function, like, you have a real problem. And I think that exactly the same thing of marijuana, except its proponents will say that there's nothing wrong with that. Our cultural norms around marijuana are encouraging high potency indulgence by huge segments of our population. There is no proper regulation. And unfortunately, you know, a significant part of both bipartisan America are being seduced by what is now big weed. I mean, these people make big tobacco look like choir boys with the
pause.
way that they have been lied.
Okay, so
Break it down. Got
yeah,
Todd
so
Father.
he's definitely going extreme here, comparing it to big tobacco, and now he's saying, all right, he's disputing the medical benefits. Now
He's
it's
saying
too
it
many
goes.
facts.
He says it's beyond big tobacco. Beyond that.
Yeah, but stating that there's no medical benefits and all that, that's hogwash.
I mean, I think
Okay.
that's. I mean, so,
It wouldn't have got passed as a medical.
There's too many people reaping the benefits of this
Right.
for that to even make any sense.
So there's one solution for this. He doesn't have to smoke it. But maybe that's the problem.
Well, he definitely don't smoke it.
He
It would
probably
se-
on some heroin. or
I was
some
just
shit.
going to say he owns something because he doesn't slow down for a fucking second. What do you think, Jeff?
You know, I just think he's one of these people that is just so uptight that everything bothers him. Like, I don't think this guy's you know what I mean? Like, this type of dude is not happy in his life. And he
Yeah.
has to just take it out on the rest of the world.
Yes.
Anybody trying to have fun anywhere, anybody trying to enjoy freedom, anybody trying to, you know, step outside of his very narrow lines, he's going to have a problem with.
That sounds like a very good.
Or this is just to get the attention because what's he? I don't know what
Or
he's
it's
known.
just a personality, exactly. This could just be a media personality deciding
Yeah.
to make money.
All right, so let's see what he got to say here.
Lobbying not only this administration but others to get Americans as hooked on this drug as possible and to keep out responsible voices who are warning about its problems, just like Alex Berenson did with Tell Your Children, which I highly recommend. If you are a parent, you need to buy that book. You need to read it and you need to keep your kids away from this substance.
Now, Sagar,
Wow. Wow. It's a lot, man. This guy is like he's on full panic fucking mode.
So I hope he doesn't take any pharmaceutical products.
Here a little bit.
In driving, people who go after alcohol like to talk about correctly DWIs and impaired driving, but everybody seems to ignore that we have a significant enough cannabis crisis for people who are driving while high.
I totally
Nobody is paying attention to these. So I would just say to that person, the same way I talk to people whenever I talk about the dangers of SSRIs, it may have made you feel as if it worked in that case, but in a longitudinal study, we see that it does not hold even close to the same benefit, let's say, of things with not even near the amount of danger like exercise and or diet.
Hold on.
So
He just
these
likes to talk.
Gee, this guy, man, is killing me.
Yeah,
He just likes to talk.
I mean, I'm trying to break down what this guy's saying, and he just
He's not
doesn't
saying
fucking.
much.
He's not saying much, and then he's saying it so fucking fast. Jesus, man, what the fuck, bro?
All right, so he hates
claims,
marijuana.
while we can take individually, when we study them in the long term, we see that on the whole they do not hold up as promised. And look, like, not to get
You're a
lewd, but just
fucking
yesterday,
liar.
as a joke, I was tweeting about cannabis suppositories, which I did not know was a thing. And so that's a thing. It's extremely high potent, and the criticism I got is like, you're making fun of cancer patients. And I went to the website which is selling these cannabis suppositories, and what's the very first thing that it says? A discrete ways to use cannabis, right? Like, even the sellers
Pause.
are in on the.
Now, I happen to know that cannabis suppositories are used for, basically, they're used for cancer patients. They've been around a long time. It just shows you that you don't know shit, Cigar. His name's Cigar. Cigar or weed is what his name should be. But no, I mean, it's been around a long time, and he's talking about how, like, that's, like, people are using.
Yeah, like it's a
like
fad, but
like
no,
people are using suppositories.
dismissing the medicinal use of it.
It's silly.
But I do want to say this, man.
Have you heard anybody tell you about the misuse of weed suppositories? I mean, you fucking kidding
Man,
me?
listen, I haven't heard anybody
You guys
mention
don't just get
weed
those for a Friday night?
suppositories, because if somebody has weed suppositories, they better have cancer.
What'd you say, Jeff?
You guys just don't get those for a Friday night? That's not just a good time.
No.
Yeah, I'm not
no,
sharing no weed
no.
suppositories with a motherfucker. Yo, let's drop these.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, you want to
shit.
come over and do some fucking suppositories
Yeah,
together?
let's
I think
squeeze
that's
You
what
these
this guy, I
cheeks.
think that's what this guy thinks. I think he
Or
thinks
how
people are just getting him for fun.
how about you're gonna smash? You're gonna have chicks come over and let's do some suppositories.
Give
and
me
smash.
give me a suppository. Yo,
What
I
the
can't even say this.
It's just
Yo,
crazy.
I can't even say
This guy is nuts, man. Bro, you are nuts. Keep playing him.
my
Joke. Like
God.
they use medical marijuana as a claim to try and give it some veneer of health when in
Pause.
reality
It is medical marijuana. Nobody's sticking that thing up their fucking ass for fun, bro. It is medicine. No one's doing that for fun. You're stupid as fuck, man.
I mean, he's not wrong that some people that are getting the medical are getting it just for fun. It's for recreation.
But they're not
Nobody
getting
denies that. But they're not
Okay,
getting
then
suppositories.
use another example because this shows you're a fraud, Cigar.
this is
That's
about
what it shows.
addiction, and it's a tragic story. Marijuana is not a costless drug. I highly recommend people,
No, it's
read Alex
expensive in
Berenson's
some
book about
cases.
psychosis. Check out Andrew Huberman's work on the topic as well. It's ruining your sleep. If you're a young man in particular, if you want to have a family, its effect on testosterone, on your ability to have children, people are not telling you the truth. And then similarly with a lot.
Did a whole generation not fucking have fucking kids while they were smoking
Yeah,
weed?
see,
A
that-
whole
that's-
generation?
Yeah, see, now he's being ridiculous because just about every product has some type of, thing that will cut down on your fertility, just that and other. So, yeah, he's just a little.
And the problem with this kind of podcast is, he could just say whatever he wants, make whatever claim he wants, and there's nobody there pushing back. There's
Right.
nobody fact checking.
Right.
Exactly.
So I mean, where are these studies that he's talking about?
And
I
they
haven't
just
heard
throw
of them.
stuff out. You know that. Well, listen, we know. What is this? What's the name of this show?
Our show?
No, their show. This show here.
It's from Talking Point USA, but I think this
Okay,
one's
well,
called Real
Charlie, this
American
is the
Voice.
Charlie Kirk show.
Okay, well, that says it all right there.
A lot of pregnant women. Every pregnant woman in America knows you should stay away from alcohol. Unfortunately, because of this medical worship culture around marijuana, they are using marijuana in some cases for pain relief or others because they
Stop.
believe the
In
propaganda.
some cases, they are, but they also are very aware. Pregnant women are very aware that they shouldn't smoke anything. What about those people? What about the majority of women who already know that they're not supposed to do this? What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Go ahead.
Of costlessness, and it is already causing problems for children in the womb, not to mention the explosion of something called cannabis hypermesis syndrome, which you can all look up.
Scromiting. Here we
is, in
go.
fact,
What, did I
where
fucking
you're
call
just,
it? Did I call it?
significantly vomiting. People, children, teenagers, and others who are vaping this very high potency drug. Ask any ER doctor in your life who will know exactly what I am talking about. This is
Yeah, I knew you'd like that part.
I mean, I even knew it was coming. As soon as he said the cannabis hypermesis syndrome, I'm like, here goes scromiting. And he literally on cue fucking said scromiting.
Adds a little bit.
There's a libertarian streak in the conservative movement, especially when it comes to marijuana. They say, hey, listen, these things are all legal. Cigarettes, drinking, marijuana should be considered the same. What is your pushback directly to that libertarian? Like, just don't get off my lawn, government. Don't tell me what to do. Leave me alone.
Okay, I'm sure
I
you
hear
have
you.
one.
I hear you loud and clear. However, we accept as a society that total freedom would be anarchy. And so we have to have well-established norms. And when your freedom begins to have high levels of societal costs and cause danger and medical crises and significantly ramp up, let's
Like
say,
alcohol?
violence in some cases.
Like alcohol?
By the way, guys, we haven't even talked about the mass shooter angle. The number of mass shooters who are cannabis addicts is unbelievable, even though it's a relatively small subset. So SSRI
Stop.
certainly should be.
How did
we
you
are
determine
gonna.
that they're
So now my man has gone all the way around full circle to saying that weed is basically the root cause of mass shootings. What the fuck? I mean, you're making yourself sound stupid, dude.
discuss, but that's another angle through which we should. The point around it is that nobody is saying, at least me, I am not saying that you holding a dime bag should send you to jail. What I am saying is that we need very well-established norms and regulation to keep these companies, which are selling these products of extremely high potency with no limits on advertising, no, actual analysis of
What
its
is he
claims,
talking about?
no, safeguards to
Pause.
try and keep it away from children. And I encourage people to try and to think in that.
No limits on advertising.
Yeah, we talk how much about the limits on advertising?
Have you
specifically?
tried to run an ad on Instagram for your weed brand cigar? Have you? You haven't. You're crazy. You are in a different.
Well, he's just an extremist, so he's just
He's
he's
in a
just
different-
here to get people's attention.
You're in an alternate reality.
I got about another 30-second.
All right, let it rip.
I'm
There's
thinking
no
when we
drawbacks
started
to
to
marijuana.
legalize it, it wasn't even just, oh, it's legal now. We were getting, Democrats were having these bills to subsidize it so like former convicted drug dealers, like black Americans, could open their own weed stores so we could have
Dispensaries,
as many weed stores as possible in low-income neighborhoods. Like, and I'm just thinking, we're going to look back at this in 10 years, 15, 20, and that'll be the new argument they use to prove why America is racist. They'll say, not only did they legalize weed, they subsidized putting weed
In
into
black neighborhoods, yeah.
and it's going to be so hard to explain.
Well-
No,
Yeah, that is an interesting point there, because not that he's right, but it proves how you can take the exact same thing and look at it from two different sides and come to two different conclusions. He's talking about, it sounds like our solution to the drug problem is to subsidize it and put the drugs right into the bad neighborhoods and make it worse. Whereas we see social justice, whereas the people that were harmed the most by the drug war then get to benefit from the legalization.
If
You know what
it
I mean?
worked
Like,
like
we're
that.
seeh the exact same thing happen.
If it
We're drawing
actually,
two
if it
different
actually worked
conclusions.
like that.
If it worked like that, but you know what I mean. He's drawing the opposite conclusion.
Yeah, this is pretty wild stuff, man. This is what they're talking about. I just, it's kind of.
I don't give him too much time and energy. You hear nuts like this, it's just back talk. So he's just out there trying to get attention for himself, and we ain't listening.
All right, let's go.